Catherine's Plate. I'm Catherine. Thank you so much for coming to my show today. This is Vlogmas day number 14 of 25. We are moving along. Alright, I just want to send out a reminder that on the 25th Vlogmas day I am going to have a show with questions and answers and shout outs. So the questions are going to be coming from you guys. So in the next two shows, Vlogmas 14 and 15, go down into my comments and put your questions of what you would like answered about my show, Catherine's Plate. Alright y'all, today I am doing appetizers. Now this is a stuffed mushroom appetizer. My family's favorite. Every Christmas we have to make these, I'm not kidding. I am using these these are pretty big, Texas white mushrooms. Alright, pretty big, right? So I'm going to be using those. We're going to be adding some pork sausage. Now this is a Jimmy Dean sausage because it's going to have spices and some good stuff in there. 3 tablespoons of butter. 1 tablespoon of garlic. I've got about 1.5 tablespoons of some minced onion. Now I'm using the minced onions so that they will fit in the mushrooms a little easier than if I just diced onions. Alright, I'm going to have some cream cheese here, Parmesan cheese, some basil and some parsley, and we're going to bind it all together using some panko breadcrumbs. Alright, now I've already preheated my oven in the back here to 400 degrees. I've got my pan ready to go, so we're going to go ahead and start cooking up our sausage. Alright, let's go. Alright y'all, so I'm taking my mushrooms and what I'm just using like a melon baller here, and I'm just going around the whole thing to pull out the stem right here, and then we're going to chop up the stem in the tiny pieces and we're going to use that in our stuffing. Alright, so I'm just going to take my melon baller here and just go around and then just pop it out. That one was a little hard to get out. Alright y'all, so what I'm going to do now that I got all my stems removed out of my mushrooms here, I'm going to go ahead and dice these really small, really tiny, because we want them to fit into our mushroom caps back into there. Alright y'all, this looks really good. This is what we're looking for right here. Alright, so I've got about 2 tablespoons of oil in my pan here, and I've put in my pound of pork sausage. So I'm going to go ahead and break this up using my meat chopper here. If you haven't seen it yet, check down in my description box and you'll see it there in my Amazon link for the meat chopper. It's like the best thing ever. Alright, the sausage is already smelling good, y'all. Alright, I'm looking to get this about halfway cooked. Alright, so we're about halfway done with that. We're going to go ahead now and add our minced onion. I got about 1.5 tablespoons. 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. And then all of the stems that we chopped up here, we're going to put that in here. Alright, take this out. Go ahead and start just using 1 spoon now at this point. I'm going to finish cooking up the sausage. Alright, so I'm grating about 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese into here. I'm going to add my 8 ounces of cream cheese. I'm going to go ahead and mix this all up. Alright, we're going to go ahead now and add 1/3 cup of our panko breadcrumbs, or you can use regular breadcrumbs. My 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to put some basil in there. like 2 teaspoons. I'm just going to give that a stir and finish stirring this together. Alright, so I've put my mushrooms, all laid them in a single layer in my dish here. Now that I did spray it with a cooking spray here. And now what you're going to do is, I've got some melted butter. And what I'm going to do is brush some melted butter on each of the mushrooms here. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead now and add my sausage mixture right inside of there. Stuff them full. Alright, so I've stuffed my mushrooms and they're ready to go into the preheated oven for 12 to 15 minutes. And what we're looking for is some tender mushrooms here. Alright, y'all, I'll be right back. Alright, y'all, so I just pulled these out of the oven and I'm just sprinkling some nice, pretty parsley on top of these. Look how gorgeous those look. Alright. Alright, everyone, I got my mushrooms out of the oven and okay, I got a special guest here.
Yeah.
My husband Thomas is here ready to, okay, I was going to help him take one out of there, try these lovely mushrooms here. I'm going to give a close-up for y'all. Alright, y'all, doesn't that look wonderful? Alright, our taster's going to test them now. Show it to the camera. Look at that. Look how meaty those mushrooms look. Oh, all that filling.
Oh, man. That's good.
All right, y'all. This is our Christmas mushrooms that we do every year. He knew it too. He smelled them.
Yeah, I did. Those are really good.
They're really good. All right, y'all. As you can tell, I don't eat stuffed mushrooms. But I will make these for them. No problem at all. Alright, so while he's finishing another one up. Alright, y'all, thank you so much for coming to my show today. This was my Vlogmas 14 out of 25. And also remember to put your questions down below in the comments if you want to know what Catherine's Plate is all about. My answers will be on the 25th Vlogmas day. Alright, so make sure that you give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below with the bell notifications. Alright, y'all, I will see you on the next episode.